Hi everyone, welcome to another Coronavirus TV episode. We're Friday, April the 17th. I'm going to thank my colleagues Ravi, Zahava and Tara for keeping a lot of momentum going and creating loads of interesting content to keep you entertained over the Easter period. Hopefully I'll be able to invite them back soon as well. Today, only going to be a quick video. I feel like there's not much realistically I can say on the topic of Remdesivir, but it is in the news a huge amount at the moment, so it is worth talking about. I also worry that anything I do say is going to have a very, very short shelf life and become redundant within a matter of days. Anything that you are reading in the news about Remdesivir, I just want to caution that don't fall into the same trap as we've fallen previously for things like hydroxychloroquine and just buying into the hype. I'm noting even pretty reputable news sources are now putting out articles containing quotes from single patients that are receiving a drug. It's just all of the kind of the rules of reporting on science and clinical trials just seem to have gone out the window just because the need for a treatment is so huge. So I'm going to concisely summarize what we know. Remdesivir is in 2 large phase 3 trials in China. These have now halted because of the ability to find new patients, so they're not recruiting any more patients. Gilead is also running its own large phase 3 studies globally. Most patients, I think, are being added in the US. Remdesivir is also in an adaptive trial sponsored by the NIAID, and there are also some other non-governmental organizations running trials of Remdesivir. So Gilead has recently bumped up the target population of its Remdesivir trials, I think, increasing 3- to 4-fold. Some analysts are interpreting this as potentially showing that the drug has a weak effect, so the company needs more patients in order to show statistically significant effect. I think that's reading between the lines. I think the most likely scenario is that there are so many patients out there that are wanting to get onto trials, and there is the ability to add these patients into trials that Gilead is running more patients in its trials. We'll wait and see if there is a read-through to treatment effect once the data are published. Anything else is very speculative. Gilead's trials are split generally into moderate patients testing Remdesivir against placebo, and severe patients testing where patients only receive Remdesivir. There is no comparator arm. And we are beginning to get anecdotal looks into severe patients. So we had some news published recently about severe patients enrolled at the University of Chicago, and a sneak recording of a discussion which has now been published, which is quite irresponsible, but basically patients were able to resolve fevers quicker than expected, and there was also a reduction in mechanical ventilation. So patients are improving even if they do have severe COVID-19 symptoms, but there is nothing to compare them against. We also have a window into the expanded access scheme that Gilead's running for Remdesivir, because this has been published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Again, patients, severe patients are improving, but then patients will improve anyway. But if you were to contrast this against what we might expect based on historical controls, there is the suggestion that patients in expanded access are performing better than you might expect without any treatments. We won't have any placebo-controlled data in the moderate patients until May. We should have a proper look at the complete data sets, or a more robust data set that's published by Gilead in severe patients this month. So that's why anything I say now has a relatively short shelf life. Wait for the proper Gilead published results. The reality is that I think Remdesivir is probably showing a clinical effect, and that clinical effect will be useful, and therefore Remdesivir will get approved. It might well be via the emergency use authorization, as we saw for hydroxychloroquine. It may also be via an accelerated approval. The exact pathways and timelines will depend on the FDA, but I would expect the FDA to approve this drug simply based on the huge need, and then the kind of the cutting of corners it's shown previously in getting patients on hydroxychloroquine. That's all I want to say now. I'm going to try my best to not talk about Remdesivir again, at least until we've seen a proper look at its clinical trial data, because I don't want to be adding to the hype and the mystique and just the general noise around this drug. Hopefully this has helped you cut through some of that noise that you might be seeing elsewhere. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care and bye.